Watendlath was once owned by the monks of Fountains Abbey. The hamlet sits high between the Borrowdale and Thelmere valleys. The name came from the Old Norse Vatn endi halada, water end barn. Watendlath Beck is the source for the Ludor Falls. Come on. Goodbye. Good morning. So, we have a little guest star this morning. We have got Leo. We've got Leo for a couple of days. So I'm here with Andy, Billy, Bob and Leo, and we're at Watendlath. We parked up in the National Trust car park. And now we're actually going to traverse along to Blea Tarn and then up a random way, I don't think there's much of a path, up onto Coldbarrow Fell and eventually Ullscarf. And then we're going to head down towards Tarn and back to Watendlath. So that's our circular route today, about 7 miles. There's Andy, say hi.
Hi.
So that's Watendlath Tarn and the farm where we've parked the car. So you just head up these pitch steps. It zigzags its way up the hillside, so it's not too bad. Cracking view looking back. So at the top of these steps you go through that gate and you turn almost immediately right, following a wall, keeping the wall to your right hand side, and that will take you all the way to Blea Tarn.
It's recording.
The path is lovely and the grass is trod, and it crosses numerous tributaries, which gives it some interest. Nice and peaceful. I don't think you get many people coming this way, so it's a really lovely quiet route to Ullscarf. A little bit kind of off-piste, but there's no difficulty, there's no dangerous ground, just a bit wet, as this is the Central Fells. That's our view.
I think it'd be some film. This is a one-off. Stop now.
So we're not even a mile in and my feet are soaked already. It's the Central Fells. Come on, Leo. Swish splash, I was taking a bath. So over to my left, behind me there, that would be the ridge from High Tove. And you've got Shivery Knot, really wet ground up there, and that heads over to Ullscarf Fell. They have apparently put a path in around Ullscarf Fell. I'm not quite sure if it's from maybe Thelmere side, whether it's all the way across to High Tove. Not checked that out, but I've heard they have done that, as it's a peat regeneration project. They're trying to preserve the peat land. This is swampy, man, this is swampy. Looking back at the ground we've covered, you can see Watendlath there, a little puddle in the distance. There. I kind of didn't realise actually how wet it was going to be, because where we were yesterday, because we live on the coast, it was like a baking hot day. Sunshine, it was forecast for showers, but it didn't rain where we were. We've not had rain for a few days. I thought, oh, it won't be that bad. But on the way over, listening to Cumbria radio, they said about all these massive, heavy, thundery downpours in Cumbria. I'm like, what? So, yeah, I reckon this area must have got it. So, yeah, bear in mind, if it has been raining or wet, then, yeah, the ground's going to be pretty saturated. It's quite swampy. So, always better to do it after a dry spell, I think. So you can see Blea Tarn peeking out now, where we're heading for, and that is Standing Crag behind. Now we have done a route up to Ullscarf from Standing Crag from Thelmere earlier in the year, so you can check that out. We'll be heading up that ridge line there onto Coldbarrow Fell or High Saddle. We're going to have a swim first before we get to the tarn. Only joking, it's not that wet. I lied, it is bad. It's really, really swampy on this flat bit over to Blea Tarn. Definitely do this after a dry spell. So this is Blea Tarn. Standing Crag behind. We're going to head up to the right hand side, up that ridge line. You do have to get across the outflow of this tarn. Maybe a bit further up here where it's narrower, I hope. Certainly not crossing there. In fact, there are stepping stones there actually. Look a bit flooded. This might be a way across. I'll soon tell you if I slip and fall in. Here we go, that's easier, she says, as it's really bugging right by it. So I got across, no problem. There was a big boulder that I could step on. We're now going to sit here and have our lunch before we head up onto Coldbarrow Fell. We can find somewhere dry to sit on a rock somewhere, hopefully. Plenty of water for the dogs today. Nice peaceful spot. There's actually a cairn on that rock there. Fantastic place. There's like loads of outcrops of rock everywhere. Loads of boulders lying around. I think they're granite boulders. There is no path, it's just make your own way. Heading for that rocky, flattish top up there. So beyond Blea Tarn, in the distance you've got the Dodds and Helvellyn. Just looking down, we're just approaching Low Saddle. That's looking down the valley. You've got Derwent Water in the far distance. Look at Andy. Standing on his little throne. So that's Low Saddle behind me. You don't actually have to summit that because it serves no purpose. That's the view behind. That's where we've come. That's Blea Tarn. That is Watendlath there. So you've gone up, traverse all the way around to Blea Tarn and come up this ridge, sort of zigzagged up onto Low Saddle. So that's Eagle Crag and Sergeant's Crag, and you've got Bow Fell behind and the Crinkles, and so you've got the Scarfells there. So we're heading now over to High Saddle, that rocky bit there, and then you've got Ullscarf behind, and you can just see the fence on the very top. The fence will lead you straight to Ullscarf summit. Just heading up onto High Saddle now.
Behind Blackstar we've got Grasmoor and Raise Gill Pike.
So when you come to the fence from Coldbarrow Fell, you actually have to just hop over it. Yeah, there's a conveniently placed stone there which gets you over the fence easier. Also, if you have a dog, there is a section a bit further up where they can get under the fence. There's a big gap if you have a big dog. So from the corner of the fence, you head right on the obvious grassy trod, aiming for another metal post in a rock, and then you'll turn left to the summit of Ullscarf. So this is the metal post in the rock. State it as it is.
You were them in the Lake District.
This is where you're going to head left for Ullscarf summit. Ullscarf summit, 726 metres, and there's a cairn. It's a flat top. There's Helvellyn. Looking over to, I suppose it's Windermere. That would be High Raise and the Crinkles, Bow Fell, Scarfell Pikes, Glavamara, Great Gable, Watendlath Fells and Delhead, High Spy. Hello sheep. Got the whole family, got the mummy, the teenagers and the baby. Have a little headbutt, that's it, have a little fight. So it's quite a broad, flat summit, Ullscarf. Probably not the most popular of the Wainwrights because, as I say, it's so flat and broad, and it's very boggy around about. But a nice day. You've got the larks singing. I've only seen 2 people today. Let's look at the views. In fact, you can actually see 360 degrees around on all the hills, so we actually quite like Ullscarf.
We love it.
Yeah, we've been on Ullscarf quite a few times. You can do Ullscarf from Thelmere, have a standing crag. You can go over the Whitburn Fells, you can go up the Whitburn Valley. That's nice, going up by the waterfalls, and you would come up in between High Raise and the summit. You can do a long ridge obviously from High Raise. You can do it from Stonethwaite, and you can do it from Eagle Crag, Sergeant Crag, all the way round Lining Crag and Ullscarf. And you can do it the way we've done it, from Watendlath, Coldbarrow Fell and up that way. So we're heading off Ullscarf now in the same direction we came in on, to head back to High Saddle, that fence line. We're going to cross over the fence from that corner post. So we're back at the corner post and we're gonna just hop over the fence from the corner post as it's a bit buggy here. I'll show you. That's it. So we're going to head back a different way from High Saddle. So it's definitely worth to keep watching because we're going to head to the lovely Blea Tarn, which has got lilies in it, and we were hoping to have dragonflies. It's the right time of year for that. It's a lovely spot, and then the path heads down past Watendlath Tarn. So that's Low Saddle, and we're heading off left back down towards Blea Tarn and Great Crag. Got views of Eagle Crag and Sergeant Crag there. It's a nice view. We're both far behind in the crinkles and the Scarfells. Shame it's so dark and grey. Right, you're going to get a view down into the valley here. The stone thwaite down there. There you are, you can see Watendlath on the far right there. And that's Great Crag in front. But he's found a little cave. So we're now heading towards Green Coombe, which looks very flat and potentially wet. We shall see. There is a very faint grassy trod on the ground. On the map that I'm using, the OS map that I'm using, the path's actually run out by now. So I actually just made this route up, heading kind of, you know, to Blea Tarn. We have done this once before, years ago.
Look at me.
Yeah, we're now in peat hags now, with great big massive huge bogs. Oh lordy lordy. The path literally goes straight through this.
Across these,
Wet feet time. Well, in fact, my feet are soaked anyway, so what does it matter?
no way through there.
Come on this side, Andy, round this way. I'm not surprised we haven't seen a soul all day. Who'd want to come here? Hang on. This might be a way. That one nearly went over my ankle, that. If you want peace and solitude, this is where to come.
Yeah.
I've gone hysterical. Oh, if any of you lot follow our route, I do apologise right now. I think you might be calling us some names at this point. You've gone wrong somewhere. This is horrendous ground. We have completely no path whatsoever, not even a sheep trod. Extremely wet ground. I'm not going to be able to put this route on YouTube, because if you did this you would seriously be upset with us, I think. So we'll put the video on, but I'm not going to put the route on because you might want to be doing this track. Right, that's Tarn. What horrendous ground, and there was literally no path. It's horrendous. I think we must have missed the path. This is the path coming off here. Good grief, the path is so vague because it's so boggy. It's really hard to stick to it.
Come on!
So we've got to the outflow of Tarn.
Come on!
Amazingly.
Come on!
How are you going to do this, Leo?
Come on, you find the easy way up. Well done,
Leo
Billy.
goes, that's how you do it, Billy.
You're going to go in?
Right, we're on the path now that comes up from Rosswaite. Thank God. So you come to the lovely Tarn. Show you in a bit.
Come on, Billy.
So the route from Low Saddle to here to Tarn is rather rough and off-piste, especially after rain. It's very, very wet. You do have to negotiate some peat hags, and that's where the path disappears from the peat hags. There is a path on the ground, but it's quite hard to see it when it's wet. So I would say it might not be a path for you to do if you're not used to off-piste ground. If you miss the path, it's going to be horrendous, heathery, wet, boggy, just really lumpy ground. So you really need to try and stick to the path, and it does take you through, there's some humps. You have to aim for like these humps, and you go through the middle of the humps, and then you'll see the path going down, and then you cross the wet ground and the overflow into Tarn. And then the path is an obvious path from Tarn onwards to Watendlath Tarn. Andy, what did you think of the path?
Rubbish. It's what we used to do all the time.
Are you traumatised?
No,
That wasn't that bad, was it, really?
It's what we used. But poor old Leo is though. Look at him.
Leo is. He's exhausted now, aren't you, Leo?
Come on, Leo. Billy, come on. Come on.
So we're leaving Tarn now. Andy's falling about all over the place. So that is Great Crag behind us, but we're not doing it, are we? Because it's now about 4:30. So you can see the path heads down on steps now over that flattish ground, which has actually got stepping stones most of the way, and then you head to Watendlath Tarn, which is over there. Oh, Leo's had a little accident. He's fell in a bog.
Dear me.
Oh, poor Leo.
What a mess.
Do you think the tea shop's going to be open for an ice cream, Andy?
No, it's never been open since 1976 when there was a heat wave. Not that I know of, anyhow.
Are you a little bit muddy? It's a bit muddy. You fell in a bog.
Come on, Billy.
Not far back to Watendlath Tarn, probably about 3/4 of a mile, half a mile, 3/4 of a mile, something like that.
Big Leo's big black bum. Big black curly ass. Looks like...
So I'm going to say goodbye as we're nearly back at the car. About 10 minutes from Watendlath. So it's been a really good route. Bit off piste and wet. Bit of a challenge. So if you like that kind of thing.
We do. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. So it's about 7.5 miles. Watendlath is beautiful, beautiful tarn. Lovely little hamlet. And there's a tea room occasionally open when the weather is super hot. If it's raining...
1977.
If it's raining, it's not open. Or cloudy.
It's not all about motorway paths.
So,
sometimes it's about going off piste, isn't it?
Say goodbye?
Yeah, goodbye.
So our battery's going to run out soon. There's Billy Bob. And where's Leo? Have we lost Leo? Oh, he's back there.
Oh, he's here.
Oh, come on, Leo, the badger.
Oh, no.
Oh, look at him. He's so tired.
Sad looking face on him.
Look at his little face. Oh. So that's Watendlath Tarn, and I just wanted to show you. You can see our route where we headed up and zigzagged around the back of the farm. Takes you up there onto the fell side along that wall, all the way along. And you can just see Coldbarrow Fell there. Good morning and welcome to Map and Scissor Time, and this is a route for Ullscarf from Watendlath, and you've got ample parking in a National Trust car park for about 30 cars. Charges apply if you're not a National Trust member, but if you are, you don't have to pay. And it's a beautiful setting with Blea Tarn here, and it's so peaceful. Really love this place, and the route takes you away from the tarn, and you follow a beck on a public footpath, heading alongside the beck here, heading up the fell side and zigzagging up. You go through a stile and then you come to a wall, and you want to keep the wall to your right hand side and follow along parallel with the wall. And you're heading along increasingly wet ground, especially after wet weather, and we're aiming for Blea Tarn. So you go past Brimming Knot and you're squelching your way towards Blea Tarn here, and you have to cross the overflow, best place that you can, to aim for this cairn here, and then you're following up this ridge line. There's no path, you just make your own way, but it's easy ground. Heading for, first of all, low saddle, and then you're aiming for high saddle, Coldbarrow Fell. You'll then see the fence line, which you aim for, and we cross the fence here, and you can cross it at this corner, might be easier for you. And then you're keeping, there's no actual fence here, there's a fence on the map, but there's no actual fence here, so you're aiming for a rock with a triangular metal post here, and then you're aiming straight on for Ullscarf summit at 726 metres. It's a very broad summit, but you get great views over to Eagle Crag and Sergeant's Crag and Glaramara, and over to Helvellyn this side. And then the route heads back initially the way we came, back to this fence corner, back over high saddle, aiming for low saddle, and then there is no path on the map, but there is actually a route aiming for Tarn over here. And the path on the map, on the OS map, actually heads down here, and then it stops where you get very wet ground about here. This is all very wet, rough, heathery ground. So the best thing I would say is try and find a very faint path, aiming for, there's some humps, like 3 humps, and you're aiming for the middle of the humps here to head down on a very faint path to the intake of Tarn, cross here, and you'll get to the really good track coming in from Rossthwaite and Stonethwaite. It's a rocky track, and this is a lovely tarn here, Tarn, so peaceful. It's a lily tarn, and you just follow on the stony track all the way back to Watendlath Tarn and back to the car park. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and catch you all again on another adventure very soon. Bye for now.